Bluebells are beginning to flower, fluffy catkins are budding from the trees, and green leaves are shooting from the branches, sure signs of spring. The abundance of food at this time of year is incredibly important for wildlife. But there is one plant that has already been especially helpful in getting the birds and insects through the winter.
This plant, despite all the good it does, is often misunderstood and maligned. It's ivy.
Ivy is an evergreen climbing plant. It can grow in carpets along the ground or, like you've probably noticed, up walls and trees.
Now, what lots of people think is that because of the way this plant climbs, it must be a parasite. But actually, these cool little root hairs on the bottom of the stem are just structural and they help it to attach itself to whatever it's climbing on. Just like any other plant, it's got a root system which goes into the ground and pulls up water and minerals.
But what is so special about ivy? Well, it produces flowers from September to November and berries from November to January, which means that it's an incredibly important resource for animals throughout the winter. The flowers are an essential food source for insects before hibernation, and the fatty berries are perfect for birds like thrushes, blackcaps, and wood pigeons. On top of all this, it provides shelter even for bats and other small mammals. The benefits to wildlife are huge.
Now, something quite unique about ivy is that it grows in two stages. The first stage is the juvenile form, and that's the form that we can see right here. It's got these really sharp, pointy, palmate kind of leaves that are quite dark, and these will be growing at the bottom of whatever kind of structure the ivy has decided to attach itself to. Now this is the mature stage of the plant. This is a heart-shaped leaf and it's also much lighter, but it only gets to this stage when it reaches a patch of direct sunlight. This is also the bit of the plant that produces the flowers and berries, but this of course means that if it's cut, it will never reach its mature stage and therefore it won't be providing any food for wildlife.
Ivy can completely blanket some trees, but the canopy of a healthy plant will prevent ivy from growing too much. In some cases, it can cover up structural damage or illness, but in its own right doesn't indicate that a tree is unhealthy. And in most cases, it will mature and flower well before reaching the upper branches. So if you have ivy growing in your garden or along your walls, make sure not to cut it back too much and leave it growing to create a perfect habitat for wildlife in your area.